Conestoga Connected. I'm your host, Danielle Vanessa Brown, and thanks for joining us. Pickleball was the event last week on Top Contender, with Tyler Bitton defeating Brock McDonald for the third week in a row. This week we learned about the Tri-City Outlaws, and the competition continues. Are you ready for some football?
Welcome to the Top Contender. Today we're at the Field House at the Rim Park Sports Complex in Waterloo. Tyler's won the last 3 events. Hopefully I can win with a little bit of football today.
That's right, but first let's learn a little bit more about this beautiful facility here in Waterloo and also about the Tri-City Outlaws.
The Tri-City Outlaws are a part of the Northern Football Conference and is a summer football program that provides athletes to play football beyond high school, college, or university. The Fieldhouse is located in the Manulife Financial Sportsplex and Healthy Living Center at Rim Park. It is a multi-use recreation facility that provides a wide variety of indoor activities.
So Jameeks, how long have you been in football for?
I've been involved in football since early high school, so you're looking at around 10 years now. I had an older brother who's just the guy, like my role model guy I looked up to. And I knew when he was playing football in high school and he was talking about it that I wanted to do it myself.
Now this is a challenge and I got to go up against Tyler. So any techniques that I can do or anything just to make sure that I get farthest, make sure I win?
Upfield, always go forward, right? It's going to give you it'll give you better space to juke Sean out.
So I'm here with Sean, and Sean's going to be my instructor for today's challenge. Sean, how long have you been involved in football?
So I've been playing football for about 19 years now, so pretty much since high school, and then played for Laurier from 04 to 07, and now continue to play each summer with a team called the Tri-City Outlaws.
What's one thing to keep in mind, and also what's one tip that you could possibly give me that could give me the upper hand on Brock today?
And I think the most important piece, you got to catch the football. So we'll work on today, give you a couple of tips to make sure that you can catch the football. From there, things get a little bit easier.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you, Sean. So stay tuned, the challenge is next.
Tyler and I will both receive and attempt to return a punt. The winner will be whoever returns the punt or gains the most yards without being tackled. We will both run down the field as quickly as possible to gain yards while trying to avoid the defense. Let the games begin. Tyler starts off with a good hustle, gaining 16 yards before Jameeks is able to tackle him.
Brock also got an explosive start and just about juked Sean out, but he grabs a hold at the 16-yard line.
Forcing a sudden death round, Tyler once again gains 16 yards, but I am just too fast for him, getting a touchdown.
What a great event, right down to the wire, forcing Tyler and us to compete against each other. But fortunate enough for us, we took it home. So now after 7 events, it's 4-3 for Tyler. I'd like to thank Jameeks, Ronnie, and Sean for helping us out. Also the Rim Park Sports Complex. So stay tuned for the next episode, should be pretty intense.
Finally! Nice win, B-Rock. Now let's head outside. Do you have an appreciation for nature? Curtis Gerard connects with some birds and teaches us a thing or two on the great outdoors.
Hello and welcome to this episode of The Great Outdoors. Today I'm here at Guelph Lake Nature Center, where I'm going to be meeting with Greg Meredith, who's going to give us a tour of the surrounding area. Let's go.
This week I decided to relax and enjoy the great outdoors by learning about the interesting aspects of how animals survive in the winter.
So one of the things about wildlife in winter, a lot of people think that birds migrate and stuff, but really the reason that animals hang around here in the winter is they're hanging around looking for food. So if you can find food here in the winter, you're going to stay here in the winter. For the most part, it's about finding food to provide energy, to provide enough heat so you can survive through the winter. And if you take one of these, you can actually squeeze some of the ends. If you find one that doesn't squash too much here, you can grab that and try a couple. So if you find one that doesn't fall apart, so this plant is called burdock. And if you look in the bottom there, do you see how I find they've got a bunch of seeds that are still glued together? Yep. Well, those seeds are glued together. If I take those seeds, and if you carefully crack them open, you can see that inside there's a little larva.
Yeah.
So larva like this is a caterpillar larva. It's a little nondescript brown moth that'll pupate shortly here.
Cool.
So that's packed with energy, 0 trans fat, so it's good to eat, right?
Nice.
So if you do eat them, they're kind of nutty in flavor.
Then Greg showed me the tracks of a meadowvole, what she described as a small gray mouse, most commonly known as a field mouse.
Anyway, so whenever I'm walking out with kids, I'm always looking for, evidence or signs of wildlife, things that are around here.
Okay.
So these are meadowvole tracks. So meadowvoles are the most common mammal that we get in North America. And in the winter, they survive by staying underneath the snow. They're insulated by the snow blanket. That's where they stay warm. That's where they get their heat source from.
Okay.
And of course, they're out and about looking for seeds and food as well. And the reason these tunnels are here is because they're at this stump. And if we were to dig through inside of the stump, we're going to find bugs and a variety of other things that are going to be in here, and that's what they're going to be in there eating.
Later on the tour, we noticed a pile of feathers where the chickadees perch. We went to examine it a little closer.
So this is what we would be a kill. One of the things we often joke about with kids at the Nature Center. I always say we're going to do CSI Guelph Lake. What happened here? There was a murder mystery.
Yeah.
And whenever anything, of course, happens in the nature, there's always clues left behind us. So this feather here tells us that it was a chickadee or part of a chickadee.
Okay.
And the type of animal that does this, the most common one that we get around here is called a Cooper's hawk. A Cooper's hawk is medium-sized bird of prey, and they hunt other birds. And they'll fly over top of the forest. They come down the trail, and they're picking up speed the entire way, flapping the wings, flapping the wings, flapping the wings, and just about that apple tree, maybe 20 or 30 feet away, they close their wings and go into what's called a stoop, and they basically hammer into the bird at full speed.
Well, thank you very much for taking me on this tour. It was great.
Okay, you're very welcome.
And if it's all right with you, I think we're going to stay here a bit longer and hang out with the chickadees.
Sure, yeah, here's some seed.
Awesome, thank you.
Chickadees will appreciate the snacks.
Awesome. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a safe and enjoyable time in the great outdoors.
Cool. Thanks, Curtis. From the great outdoors to Canada's greatest pastime. After the break, there's more to Stratford than Justin Bieber and a festival theatre. We're connecting you to the Stratford Culletons next. The theatre isn't the only event selling out in Stratford. Night after night, thousands of dedicated fans turn out to support hometown hockey heroes, the Stratford Culletons. And some of those players started as fans themselves. Here's Brock McDonald.
Hockey, a sport that brings together towns and cities alike to cheer on their team. It requires years of dedication and motivation to perfect, and has consumed an entire nation. Nearly every town in Canada now has its own team, and Stratford is no exception.
Got a great rink. It's one of the oldest in the world, so it's made with the old concrete structure, and it makes it real loud. It's a lot of fun to play in.
In a town filled with pride, a team of history and desire to win, spanning over 30 years, is found. And that team is the Stratford Culletons.
Just the fans here, unbelievable. Playing in front of 1,500 people every Friday night, it's just incredible feeling, and it's just an honor to be able to play for here. So
that honor comes from playing on one of the most successful Junior B franchises in Canada. Stretching over 35 years, they've won the Sutherland Cup 7 times and only suffered 2 losing seasons.
Come down on Friday night and they play well, it's fun in front of a good crowd.
A good crowd comes from having good players. Stratford has had some of the best play in the NHL, such as Chris Pronger and Boyd Devereaux. They have worn Culletons jerseys and walked the halls of the Allman Arena. Many of the team's players today hope that one day they will be able to say they have done the same and have their pictures hung up in the team's dressing room.
So what makes a team like the Stratford Culletons? Well, it's the fans, of course. You can have great hockey, but without the fans, you kind of lose interest. But not here in Stratford. Here in Stratford, by the time warm-up rolls around, you have fans jumping and the parking lots are filled. It makes for a great atmosphere and great hockey, and the boys love to play here.
Well, when you live in Stratford your whole life, Stratford and hockey are synonymous. And ever since we were in school, Cullies have been part of our Friday nights, and you support the team 100%.
That crowd has been loyal to the team for the past 30 years, treating the players well, providing billet homes, and being sure to pack the rink every single night. Some of those fans even growing up to become Culletons themselves.
Coming to the games as a kid on Friday nights just was always a dream come true to be able to play here, and it was just always something I always wanted to do and looked up to the guys here when I was a kid, so it was definitely something I really wanted to do when I was older.
And now, with kids looking up the solder, you can be sure the cycle will continue for years to come.
Of course, in the end, we've got a ton of fans We average around 1,500 people every Friday night, so it's always fun to play in front of a crowd like that.
With the players all taken care of, it's time to play hockey. Tonight, heading into a 7-game win streak, the Culletons face one of their rivals, the Listowel Cyclones, on home ice at the Allman Arena.
Get up there! Get up there! Oh, get up tight! Get up tight! Come on! Come on!
The team plays to their strengths by starting fast and keeping up the pressure. By the end of the first, the team is up 1-0. And 12 minutes into the second, Trevor Sauter gets his chance to increase the lead.
Good forecheck. Sticks right on the puck. Good job.
The team gives the fans exactly what they came for, a 4-1 victory. And that's what the Stratford Culletons are all about. Creating dreams for the new generation and providing opportunities for the generation of today. For Conestoga Connected, I'm Brock McDonald, Stratford, Ontario.
Thanks, Brock. After the break on Cultural Corner, Kendall Vanderveen and Kara Ford meet some Australian creatures. And I take you behind the scenes of Geek Speak. But first, we take a look at the world of comic books. We'll be right back. This week on Geek Speak, we meet a Canadian cartoonist right here in Waterloo Region, and some of the most popular comic books for any age. Here's Thomas Reading and Hilary Stahlbaum.
Hey guys, today we're going to explore the world of comic books.
We all know about the movie and television adaptations, but what about the comics themselves? What makes them different?
We're going to find out.
So we'll see you guys in a bit. I'm outside Looking for Heroes, which is one of the few places in the Kitchener-Waterloo region which has a variety of comic books. So let's go inside. So I'm here with Richard, who works at Looking for Heroes. So Richard, what kinds of comic books do you have here?
We carry a wide variety of superhero, independent, Marvel, DC, Image.
What would you suggest to someone who's never read a comic book before as a first one?
Depending on their age, there's a lot of, and what their interests are. If they're into superheroes, there's hundreds of books they could jump onto, whether it be Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. Velvet is a great mystery, kind of espionage type book. Then of course you have Walking Dead, stuff like that. If you're a younger reader, there's, My Little Pony, there's younger versions of Spider-Man, less violence and everything like that. Then of course you have stuff like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and everything like that. So there's a lot of jumping on points. It all depends on what your interests are.
Are there many Canadian-made comic books around?
Unfortunately, not as many as we would like there to be.
Well, thanks for your time, Richard.
My pleasure.
And now let's go over to Hillary to see what she's up to.
So I'm here with Scott, a local cartoonist. Can you tell me what kind of work you've done?
Yeah, the book I'm best known for is called Two Generals, which is a graphic memoir about my grandfather's experiences in the Second World War. And most recently I contributed to the True Patriot anthology, which is actually the first superhero work I've ever done. But it's an anthology of new original superhero characters created by an A-list of sort of top Canadian comics talent.
Do you think there should be more Canadian comic book heroes?
Yeah, I mean, Canadians have always played a strong role in the comics industry. I mean, it's tough, especially in Toronto. You could, throw a rock and it's probably going to hit a well-known comics creator. But, really there hasn't been all that many Canadian-based superheroes. But this project sort of largely came together by what our ideas would be if we could do a Canadian-based superhero. So part of this anthology was letting everybody, do these ideas they've had in their heads. Some of us, since we were children, have had these characters rolling around in our heads, but, haven't had the, a place to actually put them down on paper.
So thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
Look at that.
Cool.
So Hillary, what did you learn today?
I learned a lot about True Patriot from Scott. What about you?
I have a new book to add to my collection now.
Awesome. So we'll see you next time on
Geek Speak.
Thanks, you two. This next segment might make you squirm, But if you're brave, Kendall Vanderveen and Kara Ford will take us on a journey through Australian culture. Are you ready to go down under? Here's Cultural Corner.
Welcome to Cultural Corner, where we're going to take you down under.
We're going to be exploring Australia with Little Ray's Reptiles. Let's go! Little Ray's Reptiles has been in business since the mid-90s, traveling Canada delivering fun yet educational presentations on wildlife.
It's entertainment that is sure to captivate both adults and kids alike. So tell me, what did you do today that was so exciting?
A crocodile. He's the little crocodile hug, touching the crocodile.
You got to touch the crocodile? Wow!
Not only are there crocodiles in the exhibit, but another friend from the outback.
This is the special kind of kangaroo. It's a red kangaroo, right?
Correct. These guys will be the largest kangaroo species in the world. They can grow up to 6 feet tall and weigh up to 200 pounds.
Wow, so this is what Jack's going to grow up to, 6 feet tall.
Exactly.
How far can he jump?
Well, kangaroos can relatively jump their own height. So he stands about this high now, so he can jump that high. But when he's 6 feet tall, he'll be able to jump 6 feet. More than 1,300 species of kangaroo in Australia. Something else that's really cool about red kangaroos is that they will adopt abandoned babies. So mothers are killed on the highway sometimes or by predators. And if a female happens to come by and doesn't have a joey, they'll pick them up and become their own babies. Well, over in Australia, they only have 2 natural predators, and they are the dingoes and they are the wedge-tail eagles. Wedge-tail eagles have a wingspan longer than my arm, so they're pretty big.
Guys, what did you think of the kangaroo?
Loved it. I loved it. Australia, all I know is it's mostly outbacks with a lot of kangaroos, forests, and koalas.
The kangaroo, amongst other animals, is definitely one of the most iconic mammals in Australia.
Oh yeah, so in Australia, I mean, red kangaroos they're the largest marsupials, and kangaroos really are kind of treated a bit like a pest there. They cause damage to farmers' fields, crops. There's an overpopulation of them. So they're very much like, I guess, deer are here. They really are everywhere.
I hear they get hit on the highway a lot.
All the time, yeah. Big problem.
So what's the biggest thing you have to offer your fans?
I think just a really interactive educational experience. I mean, we pride ourselves in being, interactive and educational and fun. For us, I've always had a theory that if we can make children laugh, I can make them listen. And if they're listening, I can teach them stuff. So we try to, be light-humored about things, but at the same time talk about some serious issues and what can happen, responsible pet ownership, backyard conservation. Not just teach them about kangaroos, but teach them about turtles that live right here in Ontario and what they can do to help.
I had so much fun playing with Jack, the kangaroo.
Thanks for exploring Australia with us. Make sure to tune in next week as we explore more cultures of the world.
I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, girls. Time to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we explore music expressed through sight and sound. But first, we're going to find out how Geek Speak was born. We go behind the scenes with the hosts and producer of the segment and find out how they come up with their ideas every week. Stay with us. Hey guys, I'm here in downtown Guelph outside the Dragon, and today we have the opportunity to go behind the scenes with the cast and crew of Geek Speak. These are the people responsible for putting it all together, and as you can see behind me, they're really getting into the thick of it, so let's see if we can get some words. All right, I'm here with my buddy Thomas Reading, one of the main hosts of Geek Speak. Tell us how you prepare for an episode, especially the first one of the season.
Well, we knew right from the get-go we wanted to do geek culture, so it was pretty much just a matter of what aspects we wanted to do it and when. And for this first episode, we decided to do it on tabletop gaming stores because they have a wide variety of different types of geek culture.
What is the process that you take to think of new ideas for each episode?
Well, for the most part, we have most of the episodes are already decided, but we want to go more along the lines of we want to start from the basics. Where is the first place that you end up going into that you're suddenly interested in geek culture? Well, for me, I first walked into one of the gaming stores like the Dragon behind me.
So Hillary, tell us what the main goal is for Geek Speak for this whole season.
Well, I want people of the surrounding areas to know where to go for their interests, like if they're into video games, they're into cosplay, anime, manga, if they're into any of those geeky things, I want them to know where to go.
We'll connect you to another crew next week and give you an inside look at how we put this show together. Right now, let's head over to a fashion show that expresses the many different genres of music. Here's Surrounding Sounds.
The event is called Awareness, bringing innovation, hard work, and entertainment together with proceeds going towards a great cause. Everything created by the students from Conestoga College's School of Media and Design, coming together to express fashion, art, culture, and of course, music.
This is our 4th year running Awareness. Every year there's a new focus. This year we're focused on music.
Showcasing 9 different genres with costumes created by the second-year visual merchandising arts students to demonstrate classical, blues, jazz, punk, hip-hop, country, reggae, disco, and house. Each genre accompanied by their own video to help give a more dynamic element to the costumes being displayed on the runway.
Based on the feedback I've had, people really enjoyed the atmosphere. They loved the videos as well as the costumes. It kind of really flowed together.
Videos created by the second-year broadcast television students.
Working with the television broadcast students has allowed some support by Sight and Sound also to support what work the students have done. We're especially excited about that because there's not always an opportunity for different courses and programs to relate to each other. So it really adds that next dimension onto what they've done and what they're trying to present.
Kara Ford was one of the creators of the country video.
Being a television, broadcast television student and being here and being able to film the whole thing after working on the projects beforehand, I got the opportunity to work with Rebecca Wedge. She did country, and we had our obstacles, and everything turned out really great. She had a story that she wanted to follow. She knew exactly what she wanted to do. She wanted to keep it to the redneck country, and that's exactly what we did.
Proceeds of this year's event are going towards the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation.
We were actually inspired by one of our fellow students, Natalie Arsenault, who represented Disco Tonight. She was diagnosed with diabetes when she was just a toddler. And JDRF has helped her a lot in her lifetime, and they don't get that much support as, say, bigger causes such as cancer would, but it's just as important.
Affecting adults and children, there are more than 300,000 Canadians living with type 1 diabetes.
I think it was pretty exciting because there actually was only standing room, and we had so many people, and it was so fun, and they really enjoyed everything that happened.
I think our theme kind of really helped. We had a universally accepted theme. Everyone understands music.
After all, it was very exciting.
It was a good ending to this.
Yes, finally over, but it was a good capstone project for all of us.
The event raised money for a cause close to home, bringing the community together with music expressed through sight and sound.
It really was a great turnout. The students did an excellent job representing their music genres. And well, this has been another episode of Conestoga Connected. Thank you everyone for watching, and make sure you catch us online at conestogaconnected.ca or on Facebook and Twitter. Like, subscribe, and follow. I'm Danielle Vanessa Brown, and I'll see you next time.